Back again with coding-bootcamps.com, talking about creating, reading, updating, and deleting data with Mongo. In the last video, we talked about writing a short JavaScript to interact with our database and print some data for us. I just want to highlight before we continue that there's a web page, and it should be linked in our notes, called docs.mongodb.com/manual/tutorial/write-scripts-for-the-mongo.shell. This has a breakdown of what I talked about last video, or the video before, about how some of the commands between what you run in the shell and what you run in your JavaScript are a little bit different. It's actually a pretty short list. I just wanted to call this out here so you're aware. It's some of the common commands like showing your databases. If you do that from the JavaScript, you need to write something a little bit different. But most of the stuff that we're writing in JavaScript, you'll be able to write directly in the command line, which is great. Most of these commands are just high-level commands for showing your database, showing logs, showing users. But when it comes to the stuff we're talking about here, creating, reading, updating, and deleting content, it should be the same. With that said, I'm going to show you a new JavaScript that I've written. This one's called crud.js. And we're only going to look at the first portion of this. Now, this top section here you can really ignore for the purposes of this demo. All we're doing is we're setting our database again, and I'm just going and I'm deleting all of the data from our collection just to get it in a good state that we're comfortable with. So now we know when this runs, we're going to have no data, and then we're going to go and we're going to do a few different things. So, first thing we're going to do, and we're only going to talk up to this point here, this little block of code. So don't focus on anything below that. This is section 2.1. We're going to insert a new document, okay, and we're going to print a message to let us know we're doing it. And we're going to input something that kind of resembles what you might see in the real world. We're going to input an employee document, first name, last name, email, department, password, and location. Don't worry about location right now. This is an embedded piece of data. Just focus on these. If you're new to JSON, it might seem a little strange at first, but it's actually really useful and really easy to get the hang of. Just notice the syntax. You have a key, first name, colon, the value, John in this case. Next thing we're going to do is reference our collection, which for convenience we have up here said was equal to mydb.collection, and we're going to insert our employee record, and then we're going to print done. And that's all we're going to do right now. So the rest of this stuff I'll even comment out. So don't worry about any of that stuff, just the stuff we talked about right here is where we're going to stop. So I save this, and I'm going to need to find this guy. Great. Okay, so we have creating new document, done. And that's all we're expecting to see, creating a new document. And in the next video, we'll talk about reading that document.